Salt Lake City and the Wasatch Front here in Utah is about to look very different. Huge developments are happening, and these developments are going to impact the pricing of homes, as well as all of the different amenities and the way we live here in the state as well, and it's going to bring big changes in the years to come. Whether you already live here in the state of Utah or you're looking to make the move here, you need to know what's happening here because it will impact your daily life and the way of life here in Utah. And some of these changes are absolutely massive. In this video, I'm breaking down the biggest developments that are happening in the Salt Lake City and surrounding metropolitan areas and what that really means to you. How is that going to impact your decisions as to where you choose to move to? Because ultimately, it all matters. So first up, we have one of the largest infill developments in the entire country. And what I mean by infill development is development that's happening within a space that's already developed. In other words, a parcel of land or a big plot of land becomes available in an otherwise well-established area. And this is happening in Draper at the former site of the Utah State Prison. In recent years, the decision was made to move the state prison from the site in Draper along the I15 corridor in Salt Lake County on the southern end of Salt Lake County and make that move up to Salt Lake City, close to the Great Salt Lake. This move then allowed for all of the structures pertaining to the correctional facilities in and around the Utah State Prison in Draper to be demolished, and construction began early this year, cutting in the very first roads and starting phase 1 of the development known as The Point. And for context, this is over 600 acres of really prime real estate right in the heart of the tech corridor in between Salt Lake City and Provo. This spot specifically is amazing because it has access to not only I15 to the east, but also Bangalore Highway, which is being converted to a freeway right along its northern edge. And there are very few places in the country where 600 acres within a very desirable area becomes suddenly available, but this is one of those spots. And the vision for The Point is a futuristic urban hub for not only walkability and a way of life that's unmatched in so many of the other suburban areas, but also a place where you can gather, you can meet together, you can work together. There will be a great combination of not only walkability, but also access to the trail systems along the Jordan River Parkway, as well as the Corner Canyon Trail system. But the transit in here is going to be a big component as well, with the front runner running right next to this development. So it's going to have really good access not only for public transportation, but for walkability. It's also going to have amazing access to new venues that will be built right here, including an innovation hub and I believe a concert venue as well. And I kind of see this place as a place that's really going to attract a lot of people that work in tech as well, because Lehigh is right there next to it. And this spot's going to attract a lot of people, especially young professionals that want to live right in the mix of things and have that way of life where they can integrate their work-life balance into a walkable community where they can also live. Now, with every development, there's pros and cons. I believe that the best pros for this particular development include it's just a very modern design, which is really appealing. It's very well planned and really well thought out. It's also very focused on sustainability as well as walkability. And ultimately, it's going to attract a lot of new jobs, and that's always a good thing. But as everything has really great things about it, they also have concerns that come up. I believe that the biggest concerns with this development become not only affordability, is it going to be expensive to live there, but I also think that it could be overhyped to a great degree. Some people don't want this type of development coming. They want to have more single-family homes or more property where homeowners are owning their property rather than units with mid-rise or even high-rise buildings full of people packed into a tight area. And I also believe this is going to add more to the congestion factor along the southern edge of Salt Lake County as you enter into Utah County. Congestion with traffic, with transportation is always a concern. However, I do believe this is one of the best thought out developments we've had in many years here in Utah. I think it's really well planned, and hopefully the challenges can be offset by the pros of this particular development. And ultimately, this is Utah's biggest attempt of building a city of the future. But will it live up to the hype? All right, number 2, the next development I really want to talk about is just a little further south in Utah County, and that's a place that's called Utah City. Now, the development of Utah City sits within the boundaries of a city known as Vineyard. This is a smaller, newer city directly west of Provo and Orem, and this area is exploding in growth. Some of this area was the former site of the Geneva Steel Mill, which was a major pollutant back in the day when this steel plant was operating, but this steel plant has long since been shut down, and the land is being cleaned up so that new development can come. And again, similar to the Point development, this is a massive 700-acre project right there at the heart of the corridor through I-15 as you go in between Provo and Salt Lake City. This particular area, just like the Point, really takes advantage of easy access to I-15. It's right next to it, tucked in between I-15 and Utah Lake. I think it's going to offer really good views, not only of the mountains, but the lake as well. This area is going to take off. And Utah City will have over 30,000 new housing units, which is mind-boggling to me, which will of course add to the congestion, but it will also have some really good mixed use as well as office and business parks within the community as well. And as most modern developments do, they do a really good job of integrating the entertainment options as well. This is going to be a place where people are going to be attracted to come, not only to work, but to be entertained and to do all of the things that they want to do if they're looking to get out maybe on a Friday night or a Saturday, whatever it is they want to do. It's not just a place to work. So again, similar to the development we just talked about up north in Salt Lake County, this development brings challenges as well. Added congestion, more traffic, more hustle and bustle right along the heart of the corridor that gets people from Provo into Salt Lake City. This is definitely a valid concern, and it's one worth talking about. And as many Utahns have expressed to me personally, is the concern of higher density living is always of major concern. Now, living out west, we've been spoiled. Most people have had that dream of, I'm going to have a single family home with a 1/4 acre lot. That is absolutely amazing. It's a really great quality of life, but it's not sustainable for the many years to come as we're seeing so much incredible growth here. We do need a balance of higher density living. And I know that's not appealing for many people, but for other people, it is. And I would like to also add that maybe this perhaps brings some environmental concerns as well. And as I research deeper into this topic specifically, my belief is that this is far better than what was here before. The fact that buildings are built so much better and more efficiently today than they were many years ago, as well as the improvements in automobiles and everything else that causes pollution, I do believe that this is a very well designed and sustainable development as well. Now, Utah City sits right in the heart of the fastest growing county in the state of Utah, in Utah County. This is one of the fastest growing areas in the entire country, but ultimately not everybody's thrilled about that. Okay, number 3 on the list, we're going to talk about a major development happening just west of downtown Salt Lake City near the Salt Lake City International Airport, and that is the Inland Port. Now, if you think of the words inland port, it's exactly that. This will be a major transportation and delivery hub here in the city, but also serving as a hub for the entire Intermountain region, as well as a connector between different cities as well. And this development is going to attract and drive a lot of job growth here in the state. A lot of industrial jobs and advanced manufacturing, shipping, and other types of jobs are going to be coming this way. But one of the biggest advantages to this project, yes, it will provide more jobs, but it's going to be a very big player in Utah's economy. Our economic growth is going to be greatly affected by the development here at the Inland Port. And as a byproduct of that, it's going to offer more trade opportunities with businesses here in Utah, as well as the United States, with other places and other countries. It's really going to drive Utah's economy into the next phase. And as with everything, we have our negatives as well. Many people are very concerned about the environmental impact that this development specifically is going to have on our city. Now, again, as I stated earlier, buildings today are so much more efficient than they were in decades in the past, but there's always the concern that our air quality is going to be affected, that congestion and traffic may be affected. I do see that this particular development is not going to make it too much more congested for people that actually live in most places. This is a very industrial area already, connecting right there with I-15, 215, as well as I-80 in the heart of the industrial area of the city. I don't think it's going to affect the way of life for most people. However, if you do work in this region, you might see construction for new growth to make sure that the transportation infrastructure is adding what's needed to make sure that this area is working fluidly. And so while this may bring huge business opportunities to the state of Utah, some people do believe that it could really hurt our air quality and the air we breathe. It just depends on who you're talking to. All right, next up, let's talk about the I-15 expansion along the northern corridor just north of Salt Lake City up to the city of Farmington. This is a $1.6 billion project that is designed to expand and widen the freeway in between Salt Lake City and moving northward through Davis County. Now, the goal here is to widen the lanes to make this a more efficient area for travel, but also to reduce congestion and add those new interchanges that's going to make everything more efficient. And I believe this is going to offer some very beneficial long-term traffic relief through the area. This used to be one of the worst corridors for traffic in the entire state of Utah. In recent years, it's improved dramatically with the addition of the Legacy Highway, as well as the West Davis corridor and the conversion of Highway 89 into a hybrid freeway moving northward. So as you move north from Salt Lake City up into Davis and then Weber counties, you now have a place where it does choke point right there in Farmington, where all of those highways have to come right next to each other. But from there, it really helps spread people out. And honestly, I think the traffic here is actually pretty good. It's been drastically improved in recent years, and this is only going to make it that much better. But as with every major construction project, headaches will come as well. Any major construction project can bring the challenges of driving through these areas, as I'm currently experiencing down in the southern end of Salt Lake County right now with the construction of the Mountain View corridor and the conversion of Bangerter Highway into a freeway. It's really affecting the ways that we move around, at least during the construction time period. Now, those areas are slated to be completed by this fall, which is going to make traffic in that area really good, but this area up here is going to be affected for years to come as this construction project takes place. And so as we move forward, this will be one of the biggest transportation projects in the state. It's going to bring headaches, but it's going to be transformational for the benefit of the people that live here as well. All right, next up, let's talk about Daybreak. I talk a lot about Daybreak. It's the largest master planned community in the state of Utah, and it's growing that much more. The expansion of Daybreak moving westward all the way through the western side of the valley up to the West Bench is just continuing. In fact, I was driving through the development yesterday, as this is the area where I personally reside, and just checking out the new roads that have been cut in and paved, ready for new construction for new homes and amenities and things that are happening right here in Daybreak. And it's kind of shocking for me to look back at photos. I was just looking at some photos of the early days of Daybreak before the Ochre Lake was really even surrounded by any homes at all. And it has really grown so much in the last 10, 15 years. And it's only beginning. There's still about half of Daybreak, which is yet to be built, that's happening on the western side. So Daybreak will continue to expand for quite a few years to come. I think it's going to take another 15, maybe 20 years before Daybreak is really feeling like it's completely filled in and completed. So as Daybreak expands westward, it's continuing the theme and the ethos upon which the development was designed, and this higher density type of housing, as well as a mix of not only commercial and residential, but condos, townhomes, single family homes, estate homes, lake homes. All of these things are really well designed and planned for in the community of Daybreak. One of the biggest things that's happening in Daybreak that's most notable that more people are talking about is the development of downtown Daybreak. Shockingly enough, downtown Daybreak, as far as land goes, is actually larger than downtown Salt Lake City. And with the recent completion just a couple of months ago of the new baseball stadium, as well as the amenities that are being built right around the baseball stadium in the heart of downtown Daybreak, this is just the beginning of what's to come. So many restaurants, mixed use, office space, residential, as well as other amenities, including a performing arts center, and so many other things that are going to be built right there in downtown Daybreak are going to be transformational for this community. And it's honestly making it that much more desirable for people to want to live there, because being able to walk through your neighborhood and just get to these areas, to get to the restaurants, to get to the ball game, to go bowling, to do all the things that you might want to do as a family, this is really appealing for the people that live here. And if you already live in Utah or in Daybreak and you haven't had a chance to go to a ball game and see a baseball game in that new baseball stadium with the backdrop of the Wasatch Mountains, you're missing out. It's a wonderful place to go. And although I do believe it's a little overpriced, the food is also a little overpriced as well. I don't think that that's going to change in years to come, but who knows? Maybe they will. I do think this is one of the best venues in the southern end of Salt Lake County to just go take in a summer night and go watch a ball game or go bowling or go to a movie or do something of that nature. Downtown Daybreak is just starting. I've sat in on the meetings that are happening around the planning and zoning around downtown Daybreak, and honestly, this development is just taking off. It's just starting. This will take about 15 years to completely develop and build out all of downtown Daybreak. And although so many people love these amenities in Daybreak, especially if you live here, some people aren't so excited about it. The added congestion with traffic coming in to participate in these amenities, to go to a ball game or whatever the case, may really impact you depending on where you live in Daybreak. Now, I just live 15 houses away from the entry point into downtown Daybreak, directly into the new baseball stadium. I haven't seen anything that's been disruptive as of yet. However, that opening night, the day that we had the first baseball game, traffic moving westward along the corridors moving from I-15 into South Jordan and then Daybreak, we're backed up significantly. I don't think this is going to be a problem moving forward as the Mountain View corridor continues to get built out. This will be the main thoroughfare that bring most people into the ballpark and into downtown Daybreak. And with all of this booming growth in Daybreak, it does increase costs. Home prices are still on the rise, and while for many it does offer the best balance of life in terms of the amenities in the community in which you live and a beautiful home, it is awesome, but Daybreak's not for everybody. And from my personal experience, people either love it or they hate it. And it's become a blueprint for how many Utah developments have taken hold, not only up north in Davis and Weber counties, but also down in Utah County. There are developments that are very similar to Daybreak as well, including other developments happening just north of Daybreak. For example, the community that's known as Terrain, which is another video that I'll be doing coming up very soon. This is a new development along the West Bench just north of Daybreak. Regardless, Daybreak is offering a really good blueprint for how a lot of communities are going to be built out here. Okay, next up, let's talk about the tech corridor along the I-15 corridor through Lehi. From Salt Lake City to Provo is the region that we call the Silicon Slopes. Now, the center point, the epicenter of this is right there in Lehi, just south of Salt Lake County and on the northern tip of Utah County. The expansion of these jobs and of these businesses is not slowing down. It's not going to stop anytime soon. The tech jobs are coming, as well as the financial services industry, and so many other types of jobs and industries are coming, making the move to, or starting up here in the state of Utah. This is going to have a great impact on the way of life if you live in this region. It's going to bring new jobs, new businesses, but it's also going to bring new housing developments, including higher density housing and multifamily housing, as well as mixed use projects. And while this does offer great job growth and higher earnings for the people that come and do these jobs, it's also going to bring a very good ecosystem for startups. If you're looking to start this type of business, this is going to be a wonderful place to do so. But as with everything, there's an upside as well as a downside, and it will increase housing costs along this region as home prices in Lehi, Saratoga Springs, and all of these surrounding areas are only going to go up because this area is becoming more and more desirable. And as with all of these developments, it's going to put more strain on our infrastructure. It's going to create the need to make sure that we plan out the infrastructure even better for many decades to come. And all of this economic growth here happening along the tech corridor is really exciting, but it's not the best thing for affordability. All right, next up, let's talk about the growth directly west of this particular tech corridor, and we're going to talk about Saratoga Springs and Eagle Mountain, the Highland Highway and the freeway infrastructure that's being built out down south into Saratoga Springs and then in the future out to Eagle Mountain. This is transformational for how we get around and how we live, because in recent years, it's been challenging to live in Eagle Mountain and to be able to commute into a job in Salt Lake City, for example, but it's going to be exponentially better and easier as the infrastructure here is being built and the groundwork has been laid and the construction is taking place right now as we speak. And these new roads are connecting Saratoga Springs and Eagle Mountain into not only Lehi and the I-15 corridor, but northward into Salt Lake County with easy access into the industrial area, the commercial areas of Salt Lake City, and most notably downtown Salt Lake City and the Salt Lake City International Airport. And I do believe this is going to unlock major development not only in Saratoga Springs, but Eagle Mountain as well, as Facebook and Amazon and other major players have already built or announced to build data centers and other businesses out in the Eagle Mountain region. This growth will only be aided and fueled upon with the addition of added infrastructure, and these highways are a major player. And the biggest advantage of living in Eagle Mountain, for example, is the cheaper land. You can get a much bigger lot, more space, more home for the money, and that's the really appealing thing that's driving so many people to move to Eagle Mountain. Eagle Mountain has now passed 70,000 residents, which is shocking. It's absolutely exploding, and it's just taking off. It's just in the beginning stages. There's still so much room for growth in Eagle Mountain that these highways are going to play a major role in that growth moving forward. And I kind of look at Eagle Mountain as Utah's suburban frontier. It's kind of the edge of where people want to live, and it kind of feels a little bit removed in some places depending on where you live from the hustle and bustle of the city. To many people that live here, they love that about it, but honestly, it's not for everyone. Salt Lake City, and specifically downtown Salt Lake City, has been experiencing a transformational change just in the last half decade, but much more change is about to take place. Now, there are a lot of projects happening in downtown Salt Lake City, including the Post District, Central Station, the new airport transit links, as well as the development of the Power District and a proposed new Major League Baseball stadium. I'm hoping this does happen. This area just north of I-80 and west of downtown Salt Lake City has all been prepared and planned for, and it's shovel ready. It's ready to start this project, and hopefully this kicks off very soon. And selfishly, I'm hoping we do get that Major League Baseball team. But another major development that's just begun right here in the heart of downtown Salt Lake City is the Convention Center redevelopment zone. This is right around the Delta Center, which is the arena where the Utah Jazz, as well as the Utah Hockey Club, now known as the Utah Mammoth, call home. These huge 5 city blocks surrounding the Delta Center and moving eastward towards downtown Salt Lake City is going to be completely transformed in the next few years. This is going to be a complete and huge massive change to not only the skyline of Salt Lake City, but the amenities and the sports and entertainment district here. It's going to be transformational for downtown Salt Lake City, and it's also going to drive a lot more people into downtown Salt Lake City for restaurants as well as other amenities or activities, but especially sports. And I think the biggest advantages of this redevelopment right here in the heart of downtown Salt Lake City is it creates a more vibrant community. It's more walkable as it connects not only the Gateway as well as the entertainment and sports district over to City Creek and all of the area around Temple Square. The entire downtown Salt Lake City area is going to be very walkable, and to me, that's really appealing. But some of the negatives include increased costs. Again, costs go up as these areas become more and more desirable. Gentrification of these areas is always a sore topic for some people, and it's of course going to affect a lot of businesses, probably positively, but it's also going to impact the residents that call this place home. And while downtown Salt Lake City is becoming a major player and a hub for sports, entertainment, venues, restaurants, etc., it's really adding to the vibrancy of the city, and it's attracting more and more people into the city. But is that good for people? Is that good for everybody? Well, a lot of locals don't like seeing that take place. They don't want to see this change and this progress, as they don't view it as such. It's not as desirable. It's too busy for them. So I understand both sides of the equation, but ultimately I do believe that as we look at every one of these topics, although there are two sides to the coin, the truth typically lies somewhere on the edge. There's good and bad in everything, and I think that downtown Salt Lake City has made major improvements in recent years, and it's honestly just starting. Now, there are other developments that are happening, especially on the Wasatch Back, including Wasatch Hollow, which is a major residential development along the eastern side of Park City and down towards Heber. There's so much growth along the Wasatch Back and major developments in St. George and other areas throughout the state. And another new development that's just being talked about is the recent sale of Real Salt Lake, our MLS soccer team, was just sold by the Smith Entertainment Group, which bought the Utah Jazz, back to the Larry H. Miller Group, the actual organization that they bought the Jazz from. They now just sold Real Salt Lake and the stadium in Sandy, and now the Larry H. Miller Group not only owns Real Salt Lake and the area right there just on the west side of State Street, but they also own the entire area east of State Street, which is currently known as Jordan Commons, which includes a high-rise building that is their headquarters. I think that this entire region is going to experience massive change and redevelopment as the Larry H. Miller Group takes hold and makes a footprint right there in the heart of Sandy, and this is going to be another sports and entertainment hub right there in the heart of Sandy. This is probably something that we're going to talk a lot about in the coming years, but this is definitely, in my opinion, going to happen. And look, all of these projects are huge. They impact people that live here, and they make the place more appealing for people coming here. And ultimately, these developments are going to change how we live here, how we work here, and of course, what Utah is going to look like in the next 10 years. And of course, there's massive opportunities here, regardless of what you do for a living, but there's also challenges that come along with it. And look, growth is happening with or without us. We can't stop it. We can't keep people away from moving to Utah because Utah has become the #1 state in the country for a third consecutive year. It's really appealing for people to make the move here because it offers such a great quality of life. And I believe that the key here is planning and making sure that we're looking ahead to see what's coming. And that's why I love covering the topics like this that really impact how you live, work, and play here and how to make smarter decisions around it. And so look, if you're looking to make the move here, or perhaps you already live in Utah, I would love to be your real estate resource of choice. I love helping people and make this place a perfect place for you. It's my goal to make sure that I'm helping you in every possible step of the way. I, of course, have a team helping me to make sure that we can make that move as smooth as possible. So if that's you, reach out to me. You can find my contact information in the description below, but you can also book a video call with me right there in the link in the pinned pin comment on this and every video. And if this type of content is very helpful for you, I would love it if you would just hit that subscribe button, as it helps me so incredibly much. And if you're looking to learn more about life in Utah, check out this playlist next. And until next time, thanks.